Sai Ram, dear listeners. Live broadcast of the proceedings from the Sai Kulwant Hall at Prasanthi Nilayam will follow shortly. Please stay tuned.
సాయిరామ్. మరికొద్దిసేపట్లో ప్రశాంతి నిలయంలోని సాయి కుల్వంత్ సభామండపం నుండి ప్రత్యక్ష ప్రసారాలను మీరు వింటారు. దయచేసి వేచి ఉండండి.
Sai Ram, dear listeners. Live broadcast of the proceedings from the Sai Kulwant Hall at Prasanthi Nilayam will follow shortly. Please stay tuned. సాయిరామ్. మరికొద్దిసేపట్లో ప్రశాంతి నిలయంలోని సాయి కుల్వంత్ సభామండపం నుండి ప్రత్యక్ష ప్రసారాలను మీరు వింటారు. దయచేసి వేచి ఉండండి.
हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामभित्रयवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् ॐ नमो भगवते रुद्राय ॐ नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यव उतोत इषवे नमः नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यामुत ते नमः यात इषुः शिवतमा शिवं बभूव ते धनुः शिवा शरव्याया तव तया नो रुद्रमृणय या ते रुद्रशिवा तनूरघोरा पापकाशिनी तया नस्तनुवाशन्तमया गिरिशन्ताभिचाकशीः यामिषुङ्गिरिशन्तहस्ते बिभर्षस्तवे शिवाङ्गिरित्रताम् कुरु माहि गुंसेः पुरुषम् जगत् शिवेन वचसा त्वा गिरिशाच्चावदामसि यथा नः सर्वमिज्जगदयक्ष्मगुं सुमना असत् अद्य वोचदधिवक्ता प्रथमो दैव्योऽभिषक् अहीकुश्च सर्वान् जम्भयत् सर्वाश्च यातु धान्यः असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुण उत बभ्रुः सुमङ्गलः ये चेमागुं रुद्रा अभितो दिक्षु स्थिता सहस्रशो वैशागुं हेण ईमहे असौ यो भसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उतैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुदहार्यः उतैनं विश्वा भूतानि स दृष्टो मृडयातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मेरुषे अथो ये अस्य सत्त्वानो हन्तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमुभयोरार्त्नियोर्जाम् याश्च ते हस्तयुषवः पराता भगवो वपा अवतद्यधनुस्त्वगुं सहस्राक्षसते शुधे निशीर्य शल्यानां मुखा शिवो नः सुमना भव विज्यं धनुः कपर्दिनो विशल्यो बाणवागुम् उत अनेसन्नस्येषव आभुरस्य निसङ्गतिः या ते हेतिर्मेढुष्टमहस्ते बभूव ते धनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुजा नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधाय नातताय धृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुत ते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् पृणक्तु विश्वतः अथो य इषुधिस्तवारे अस्मन्निधेहितम् नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्रयम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः नमो हिरण्यवाहवे सेनान्ये दिशां च पतये नमो नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनां पतये नमो नमः सस्पिञ्जराय विषेमते पथीनां पतये नमो नमो बभ्लुषाय विव्याधिने नानां पतये नमो नमो हरिकेशायोपवीतिने पुष्टानां पतये नमो नमो भवस्य हेत्यै जगतां पतये नमो नमो रुद्राय तथा विनेक्षेत्राणां पतये नमो नमः सूताय हन्त्याय वनानां पतये नमो नमो रोहिताय स्थपतये वृक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो मन्त्रिणे वाणिजाय कक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो भुवन्तये वारिवस्कृताय औषधीनां पतये नमो नम उच्चैर्घोषाय क्रन्दयते पत्नीनां पतये नमो नमः कृत्स्नवीताय धावते सत्त्वनां पतये नमः नमः सहमानाय निव्याधिन आव्याधिनीनां पतये नमो नमः ककुभाय निषङ्गिणे सेनानां पतये नमो नमो निषङ्गिण इषुधिमते तस्कराणाम् पतये नमो नमो वञ्चते परिवञ्चते स्थायूनाम् पतये नमो नमो निचेरवे परिचरायारण्याणाम् पतये नमो नमस्त्रिकाभिभ्यो जिघागुंसद्भ्यो मुष्णताम् पतये नमो नमोऽसिमद्भ्यो नक्तञ्चरद्भ्यः प्रकृन्तानाम् पतये नमो नम उष्णीषिणे गिरिचराय कुलुञ्चानाम् पतये नमो नम इषुमद्भ्यो धन्वाभिभ्यश्च वो नमो नम आदन्वानेभ्यः प्रतिदधानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नम आयच्छद्भ्यो विसृजद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमोऽस्यद्भ्यो विद्यद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नम आसीनेभ्यः शयानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः स्वपद्भ्यो जाग्रद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः तिष्ठद्भ्यो धावद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सभाभ्यः सभापतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो अश्वेभ्योऽश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः नम आव्याधिनेभ्यो विविध्यन्तेभ्यश्च वो नमो नम उगणाभ्यस्त्रिगुंहतेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गृत्सेभ्यो गृत्सपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो भ्रातेभ्यो भ्रातपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गणेभ्यो गणपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो विरूपेभ्यो विश्वरूपेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो महद्भ्यः क्षुल्लकेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथेभ्यो रथेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथेभ्यो रथपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सेनाभ्यश्चेनानिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः क्षत्रुभ्यः सङ्ग्रहेतृभ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तक्षभ्यो रथकारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः कुलालेभ्यः कर्मारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः पुञ्जिष्टेभ्यो निषादेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः इषुकृभ्यो धन्वकृभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो मृगयुभ्यः स्वरिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः स्वभ्यः स्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः नमो भवाय च रुद्राय च नमः शर्वाय च पशुपतये च नमो नीलग्रीवाय च शितिकण्ठाय च नमः कपर्दिने च व्युक्तकेशाय च नमः सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च नमो गिरिशाय च शिपिविष्टाय च नमो मेढुष्टमाय चेषुमते च नमो ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च नमो बृहते च वर्षीयसे च नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च नमो अग्र्याय च प्रथमाय च नमः आशवे चाजिराय च नमः शीघ्रियाय च शीभ्याय च नमः ऊर्ण्याय चावस्वन्याय च नमः स्रोतस्याय च द्वेभ्याय च नमो ज्येष्ठाय च कनिष्ठाय च नमः पूर्वजाय चापरजाय च नमो मध्यमाय चापकल्पाय च नमो जघन्याय च बुध्नियाय च नमः सोऽभ्याय च प्रतिसर्याय च नमो याम्याय च क्षेम्याय च नमः उर्वर्याय च खल्याय च नमः श्लोक्याय चावसान्याय च नमो वन्याय च कक्षाय च नमः श्रवाय च प्रतिश्रवाय च नमः आशुषेणाय चाशुरथाय च नमः शूराय चावभिन्दते च नमो वर्मिणे च वरूथिणे च नमो बिल्मिने च कवचिने च नमः श्रुताय च श्रुतसेनाय च नमो दुन्दुभ्याय च हनन्याय च नमो विष्णवे च प्रवृषाय च नमो दूताय च प्रहिताय च नमो निषङ्गिणे चेषु धिमते च नमः तीक्ष्णेशवे च युधिने च नमः स्वायुधाय च सुधन्वने च नमः श्रुत्याय च पथ्याय च नमः काट्याय च नीप्याय च नमः सोद्याय च सरस्याय च नमो नाद्याय च वैशन्ताय च नमः कोप्याय च भट्याय च नमो वर्षाय च नमो मेघ्याय च विद्युत्याय च नमः ईध्रियाय च तप्याय च नमो वात्याय च रेश्मयाय च नमो वास्तव्याय च वास्तुपाय च हर 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 ॐ नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमः ताम्राय च रुणाय च नमः शङ्गाय च पशुपतये च नमः उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे वधाय च दूरे वधाय च नमो हन्त्रे च हनीयसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयो भवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च नमः तीर्थ्याय च कूल्याय च नमः भार्याय च भार्याय च नमः प्रतरणाय चोत्तरणाय च नमः आधार्याय च लाद्याय च नमः षष्प्याय च फेण्याय च नमः सिकत्याय च प्रवाह्याय च नमः हिरण्याय च प्रपथ्याय च नमः किगुंशिलाय च क्षयणाय च नमः कपर्दिने च पुलस्तये च नमो गोष्ठ्याय च गृह्याय च नमः तल्प्याय च गेह्याय च नमः काट्याय च गह्वरेष्ठाय च नमो हृदयाय च निवेश्याय च नमः पागुंसव्याय च रजस्याय च नमः शुष्याय च हरित्याय च नमो लोप्याय चोलप्याय च नमः ऊर्व्याय च सूर्म्याय च नमः पर्ण्याय च पर्णशद्याय च नमो पघुरमाणाय चाभिघ्नते च नमः आक्षिणते च प्रक्षिणते च नमो वह्किरिकेभ्यो देवानागुं हृदयेभ्यो नमो विक्षीणकेभ्यो नमो विचिन्वत्केभ्यो नमः आनिर्हतेभ्यो नमः आमीवत्केभ्यः द्रापे अन्धसस्पथे दरिद्रन्नीललोहिता येषां पुरुषाणां येषां पशूनां मा भेर्मा रोमो येषां किञ्चन ममत या ते रुद्रशिवा तनो शिवा विश्वाः भेषजे शिवा रुद्रस्य भेषजे तया नो मृडजीवसे इमागुं रुद्राय तवसे कपर्दिने क्षयत्वेराय प्रभरामहे मतिम् यथा नः शमसद्विपदे चतुष्पदे विश्वं पुष्टं ग्रामे अस्मिन्ननादुरम् मृडानो रुद्रोतनो मयस्कृधि क्षयत्वेराय नमसा विधेमते यच्छञ्च योश्च मनुरायजे पिता तदश्यामतवरुद्र प्रणीतौ मानो महान्तमुतमानो अर्भकं मान उक्षन्तमुतमान उक्षितम् मानो वधीः पितरं मोत मातरं प्रिया मानस्तनुभो रुद्ररीरिषः मानस्तो वेतनये मान आयुषि मानो गोषु मानो अश्वेषु रीरिषः वीरान्मानो रुद्रभामितो वधीर्हविष्मन्तो नमसा विधेमते आरात्ते गोघ्न उत पूरुषग्ने क्षयत्वेराय सुम्नमस्मे ते अस्तु रक्षा च नो अधि च देव ब्रूयथा च नः शर्म यच्छद्विबर्हाः स्तुहि श्रुतं गर्दसदयुवानं मृगन्न भीममुपहत्तुमुग्रम् मृणाचरित्रे रुद्रस्तवानो अन्यन्ते अस्मन्निवपन्तु सेनाः परिणो रुद्रस्य हेतिर्पृणक्तु परिद्वेषस्य दुर्मतिरघायोः अवस्थिरा मघवद्भ्यस्तनुष्वमेघस्तोकायतनयाय मृडय मेढुष्टमशिवतमशिवो नः सुमना भव परमे वृक्ष आयुधन्निधाय कृत्तिं वसान आचर पिनाकं बिभ्रदागहि विगिरिदविलोहित नमस्ते अस्तु भगवः व्यास्ते सहस्रगुं हेतयोऽन्यमस्मन्निभवन्तु ताः सहस्राणि सहस्रधा बाहुवोस्तव हेतयः तासामीशानो भगवः पराचीनामुखाकृधि सहस्राणि सहस्रशो ये रुद्रा अधिभूम्या तेषागुं सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि धन्वसि अस्मिन् महत्यर्णवेऽन्तरिक्षे भवा अधि नीलग्रीवा शितिकण्ठा सर्वा अधः क्षमाचराः नीलग्रीवा शितिकण्ठादिवगुं रुद्रा उपश्रिताः ये वृक्षेषु सस्पिञ्जरा नीलग्रीवा विलोहिताः ये भूतानामधिपतयो विशिखासक्तपर्दिनः ये अन्येषु विविध्यन्ति पात्रेषु पिबतो जनान् ये पथामधिरक्षय ऐलभृदाय युधः ये तीर्थानि प्रचरन्ति श्रीकावन्तो निषङ्गिणः य एतावन्तश्च भूयागुंसश्च दिशो रुद्रापितस्थिरे तेषागुं सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि धन्वसि नमो रुद्रेभ्यो ये पृथिव्यां ये एन्तरिक्षे ये दिवि येषामन्नं वातो वर्षमिषवस्तेभ्यो दश प्राचीर्दश दक्षिणा दश प्रतीचीर्दशोदीचीर्दशोर्ध्वास्तेभ्यो नमस्ते नो मृडयन्तु ते यद्विष्मो यश्च नो द्वेष्टितं भोजं भेदधामि त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् यो रुद्रो अग्नौ यो अप्सु य ओषधीषु यो रुद्रो विश्वा भुवना विवेश तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु ये ते सहस्रमयुतं पाशा मृत्यो मर्त्याय हन्तवे त्वान्यज्ञस्य मायया सर्वान् वयजामहे मृत्यवे स्वाहा मृत्यवे स्वाहा प्राणानां ग्रन्थिरसि रुद्रो मा विशान्तकः तेनान्येनाप्यायस्व नमो रुद्राय विष्णवे मृत्युर्मे पाहि तमुष्टु हि यस्विषु सुधन्वायो विश्वस्य क्षयति भेषजस्य यक्ष्वा महेशो मनसाय रुद्रन् नमोभिर्देवमसुरन्दुवस्य अयं मे हस्तो भगवान् अयं मे भगवत्तरः अयं मे विश्वभेषजो यगुं शिवाभिमर्शनः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ शञ्च मे मयश्च मे प्रियञ्च मे नुकामश्च मे कामश्च मे सौमनसश्च मे भद्रञ्च मे श्रेयश्च मे वस्यश्च मे यशश्च मे भगश्च मे द्रविणञ्च मे यन्ता च मे धर्ता च मे क्षेमश्च मे धृतिश्च मे विश्वञ्च मे महश्च मे संविच्च मे ज्ञात्रञ्च मे शोश्च मे प्रशोश्च मे शीलञ्च मे लयश्च मरुतञ्च मे मृतञ्च मे लक्ष्मञ्च मे नामयच्च मे जीवातुश्च मे दीर्घायुत्वञ्च मे नमित्रञ्च मे भयञ्च मे सुगञ्च मे शयनञ्च मे शोषा च मे सुधिनञ्च मे ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः अत्रिणात्वा कृमे हन्ये कण्वेन जमदग्निना विश्वावसोर्ब्रह्मणा हतः कृमेणागुं राजा अप्येषागुस्थपतिर्हतः अथो माताथो पिता अथो स्थूला अथो क्षुद्राः अथो कृष्णा अथो श्वेताः अथो आशातिका हताः श्वेताभिः सह सर्वे हताः आहरावद्य श्रुतस्य हविषो यथा तत्सत्यम् यदमुयमस्य जम्भयोः आदधामि तथा हि तत् खण्फण्म्रसे ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ तच्छयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजम् षण्णो अस्तु द्विपदे षण्चतुष्पदे ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सहस्रशीर्षा पुरुषः सहस्राक्षः सहस्रपात् स भूमिं विश्वतो भृत्वा अत्यतिष्ठद्दशाङ्गुलम् पुरुष एवेदगुं सर्वम् यद्भूतं यच्च भव्यम् उदामृतत्वशेषानः यदन्नेनातिरोहति एतावानस्य महिमा अतो जायागश्च पूरुषः पादोऽस्य विश्वभूतानि त्रिपादस्यामृतं दिवि त्रिपादोर्ध्व उदयत्पुरुषः पादोऽस्येह भवात् पुनः ततो विश्वं व्यग्रामद शासनादशने अभि तस्मात् विराड जायत विराजो अधिपूरुषः स जातो अत्यरिच्यत पश्चात् भूमिमथो पुरः यत्पुरुषेण हविषा देवा यज्ञमतन्वत वसन्तो अस्यासीदाज्यम् ग्रीष्म इद्मः शरद्धविः सप्तास्यासन् परिधयः त्रिसप्तसमिधः कृताः देवा यद्यज्ञम् तन्वानाः अवध्नन् पुरुषं पशुम् तैयज्ञम् बर्हिषि प्रोक्षन् पुरुषं जातमग्रतः तेन देवा अयजन्त साध्या ऋषयश्च ये तस्मात् यज्ञात् सर्वहुतः संभृतं पृषताज्यं पशुगस्तागश्चक्रे वायव्यान् आरण्यान् ग्राम्याश्च ये तस्मात् यज्ञात् सर्वहुतः ऋचः सामानि जग्निरे छन्दागुंसि जग्निरे तस्मात् यजुस्तस्मादजायत तस्मादश्वा अजायन्त एके चोभयाततः गावो हजग्निरे तस्मात् तस्मात् जाता अजावयः यत्पुरुषं व्यदधुः कतिधा व्यकल्पयन् मुखं किमस्य कौ बाहु का भूरोपादावुच्येते ब्राह्मणोऽस्य मुखमासीत् बाहुराजन्यः कृतः ऊरो तदस्य यद्वैश्यः पद्भ्यागुं शूद्रो अजायत चन्द्रमा मनसो जातः चक्षुः सूर्यो अजायत मुखादिन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च प्राणाद्वायुरजायत नाभ्या आसीदन्तरिक्षम् शीर्षोद्यौ समवर्तत पद्भ्यां भूमिर्दिशस्रोतात् तथा लोकागुम् अकल्पयन् वेदाहमेतं पुरुषं महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसस्तु पारे सर्वाणि रूपाणि विचित्य धीरः नामानि कृत्वाभिवदन्यदास्ते धाता पुरस्ताद्यमुदा जहार शक्रः प्रविद्वान् प्रदिशश्च तस्रः तमेवं विद्वान् अमृत इह भवति नान्यः पन्था अयनाय विद्यते यज्ञेन यज्ञमयजन्त देवाः तानि धर्माणि प्रथमान्यासन् ते हनाकं महिमानः सचन्ते यत्र पूर्वे साध्या सन्ति देवाः अद्भ्यः सम्भूतः पृथिव्यैरसाच्च विश्वकर्मणः समवर्तताधि तस्य त्वष्टा विदधद्रूपमेति तत्पुरुषस्य विश्वमाजानमग्रे वेदाहमेतं पुरुषं महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात् तमेवं विद्वानमृत इह भवति नान्यः पन्था विद्यते यनाय प्रजापतिश्चरति गर्भे अन्तः अजायमानो बहुधा विजायते तस्य धीराः परिजानन्ति योनिम् मरीचीनां पदमिच्छन्ति वेधसः यो देवेभ्य आतपति यो देवानां पुरोहितः पूर्वो यो देवेभ्यो जातः नमो रुचाय ब्राह्मये रुचं ब्राह्मं जनयन्तः देवा अग्रे तदब्रुवन् यस्त्वैवं ब्राह्मणो विद्यात् तस्य देवा असन्वशे हृष्यते लक्ष्मीश्च पत्न्यौ अहोरात्रे पार्श्वे नक्षत्राणि रूपम् अश्विनौ व्यात्तम् इष्टं मनिषाण अमुं मनिषाण सर्वं मनिषाण तच्छयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपदये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजम् शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ पुष्पवान् प्रजावान् पशुमान् भवति चन्द्रभावा अपां पुष्पम् पुष्पवान् प्रजावान् पशुमान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति अग्निर्वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति यो अग्निरायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपो वा अग्निरायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति वायुर्वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति यो वायोरायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै वायोरायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति असौ वै तपन्नपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति यो मुष्यतपत आयतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपो वा अमुष्यतपत आयतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति चन्द्रभावा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति यश्चन्द्रमस आयतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै चन्द्रमस आयतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति नक्षत्राणि वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति यो नक्षत्राणाम् आयतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै नक्षत्राणाम् आयतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति पर्जन्यो वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति यः पर्जन्यस्यायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै पर्जन्यस्यायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति संवत्सरो वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति यः संवत्सरस्यायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै संवत्सरस्यायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योऽप्सुनाभं प्रतिष्ठितां वेद प्रत्येव तिष्ठति राजाधिराजाय प्रसह्यसाहिने नमो वयं वै श्रवणाय कुर्महे समे कामान् कामकामाय मह्यम् कामेश्वरो वै श्रवणो ददातु कुबेराय वै श्रवणाय महाराजाय नमः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ निधनपतये नमः निधनपदान्तिकाय नमः ऊर्ध्वाय नमः ऊर्ध्वलिङ्गाय नमः हिरण्याय नमः हिरण्यलिङ्गाय नमः सुवर्णाय नमः सुवर्णलिङ्गाय नमः दिव्याय नमः दिव्यलिङ्गाय नमः भवाय नमः भवलिङ्गाय नमः शर्वाय नमः शर्वलिङ्गाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवलिङ्गाय नमः ज्वलाय नमः ज्वललिङ्गाय नमः आत्माय नमः आत्मलिङ्गाय नमः परमाय नमः परमलिङ्गाय नमः एतत् सोमस्य सूर्यस्य सर्वलिङ्गस्थापयति पाणिमन्त्रं पवित्रम् सद्यो जातं प्रपद्यामि सद्यो जाताय वै नमो नमः भवे भवेनाति भवे भवस्व माम् भवोद्भवाय नमः वामदेवाय नमो ज्येष्ठाय नमः श्रेष्ठाय नमो रुद्राय नमः कालाय नमः कलविकरणाय नमो बलविकरणाय नमो बलाय नमो बलप्रमथनाय नमः सर्वभूतदमनाय नमो मनोन्मनाय नमः अघोरेभ्यो घोरेभ्यो घोरघोरतरेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यो नमस्ते अस्तु रुद्ररूपेभ्यः तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात् ईशानः सर्वविद्यानाम् ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपतिर्ब्रह्मणोऽधिपतिर्ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवो नमो हिरण्यबाहवे हिरण्यवर्णाय हिरण्यरूपाय हिरण्यपतये अम्बिकापतये उमापतये पशुपतये नमो नमः ऋतगुं सत्यं परं ब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः सर्वो वै रुद्रस्तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु पुरुषो वै रुद्रः सन्महो नमो नमः विश्वं भूतं भुवनं चित्रं बहुधा जातं जायमानं च यत् सर्वोऽखेश रुद्रस्तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु तद्रुद्राय प्रचेतसे मेढुष्टमाय तप्यसे वोचे मसन्तमगुं हृदे सर्वोऽखेश रुद्रस्तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहेशाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Om Shri Sai Ram. Dearest Swami, we, your children from the Shri Sathya Sai Global Council, Zone 4 and Zone 5 countries, are gathered here once again on this auspicious day to celebrate the holy festival of Buddha Poornima in your divine presence. It is on this very day Lord Buddha was born, attained nirvana, and left his mortal coil. We are truly blessed here to be present on this auspicious day. Our beloved Swami has often reminded us that the goal of every spiritual endeavor is to realize that God is within us and that separation is the ultimate illusion. When we overcome ignorance, we visualize the divine inner effulgence, and this is the essence of our spiritual journey. The theme of this year's Buddha Poornima celebrations is Buddhism for Spiritual Insight. Dearest Swami, with our hearts brimming with gratitude, we offer our collective pranams at your divine lotus feet and seek your blessings to commence the program today. Venerable monks, esteemed trustees, respected elders, and dear brothers and sisters, a very, very warm welcome to you all. We will commence this day's program with an enlightening talk by an esteemed speaker, a long-time devotee of Bhagwan, well known in the Sai fraternity. He has selflessly served in the Sai mission for many decades now. We now call upon Sri Vasudev Khilani, our Buddha Poornima coordinator, to please introduce the speaker for today.
Sai Ram. It is my deepest pleasure and honor to introduce, actually he doesn't need introduction, but just to briefly summarize our speaker's credential. He is Honorable Nimish Gulabrai Pandya. He hails from a family of attorneys. He is also a practicing as an advocate of the High Court of Bombay and a notary public. Many of you, of course, know him, but very briefly, because to make sure that he has more time for us to listen to his definitely very enlightening talk, I'll mention some of the more important details. He is the Vice Chairman of Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust, All India President of Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organization, India, the Trustee Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust, Maharashtra, Member, National Board for Sri Sathya Sai Schools, India, Trustee Sri Sathya Sai Education in Human Values Trust, is actively involved in Sri Sathya Sai Bal Vikas program for over 40 years. He also is involved in the EHV Education in Human Values program since its inception by our dear beloved Bhagwan. And in all my meetings with him or dealing with him, he has always impressed me greatly with his clarity of expression and his warm-heartedness. Let us now welcome Honorable Nimish Gulabrai Pandya. Thank you.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering our most humble salutations at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagwan, expressing our gratitude to him for permitting us to assemble in his divine presence in this most divine abode of Prasanthi Nilayam, and most specially the absolutely potent Sai Kulwant Hall. I say this because the avatar of the age, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, for all of us who have been lucky to be contemporaries of his avatarhood, know, feel, experience the years and years of his physical form, resplendent in Prasanthi Nilayam, walking every square inch of this beautiful Sai Kulwant Hall, and previous thereto, the lovely sands of this great Prasanthi Nilayam. The Master of Masters, the avatar of the age, we bow down to you, O Sai, and seek your blessings for the entire mankind in today's troubled world. Dear brothers and sisters, Buddha Poornima is indeed one of the greatest events in the calendars of Prasanthi Nilayam since many, many years. Because Bhagwan spoke of Lord Buddha oft and on. Bhagwan elucidated the various facets of the life of Lord Buddha in his various discourses that he gave over the years. And Buddha was an avatar of that kind that simplified the message of divinity for mankind. But Prasanthi Nilayam is the home, the crucible, where all religions of the world merge and assemble here. Because it was Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba who drew the essence of all religions and made it simple for mankind to follow and practice. Bhagwan was very insistent that man, being inspired by the beautiful effulgence of all the religions, must draw the essence and put the essence into practice. And that is where, therefore, you will find that Prasanthi Nilayam probably is the only place in the world where all religions are celebrated every year. Nowhere in the world you will find a place where every religion is celebrated with equal vigor as it is done in Prasanthi Nilayam. And today, I'm really, really happy to note that after the great COVID period, and when people could not travel even from out of their homes, it is a zone 4 and 5 of the Sri Sathya Sai Global Council which has been blessed by traveling from different parts of the world to assemble in Prasanthi Nilayam. And I want to share with all my brothers and sisters who have come from zone 4 and 5. Not for a moment you should presume that you are here by chance. You are here because of divine ordained that you are the messengers to carry the fresh vibrations from Prasanthi Nilayam back to your zone 4 and 5. And especially places like Sri Lanka, which is having so much trouble, I think it is Bhagwan's absolute wish that all my brothers who come from Sri Lanka, brothers and sisters, you are the emissaries of carrying Swami's blessings back to your country so that you and your people in Sri Lanka prosper in a great way. And I'm sure these blessings you will carry back home. And mind my words, as you go back to Sri Lanka, things will change because of the blessings of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, who is the master of the destiny of all mankind. Bhagwan spoke of Lord Buddha many, many times, simply because as I ponder over it, because Buddha, Lord Buddha, right from his princehood to his attainment, was a practitioner. His life was his message. And our Swami always said, my life is my message. It is very pertinent that in the world of today, Bhagwan should come and live the life of an ideal human being that Bhagwan wanted all mankind to live. And therefore, as he preached and as he propagated, he lived every part of his message in his day-to-day life. And that's what Lord Buddha also said. It is very amazing that Bhagwan used to quote Lord Buddha in his simplicity, because Lord Buddha went ahead and said that really the journey is inwards. And no amount of practices that can help unless you sublimate all your senses, and all the 5 senses can be sublimated by sadhana and by great practice. This is the message of Lord Buddha, and Bhagavan used to quote all the time, Samyak Vak, good speech. Samyak Drishti, good vision. Samyak Shravanam, good listening. Samyak Bhavam, good feeling. And Samyak Kriya, good action. And brothers and sisters, you will find that based upon these principles, see good, do good, hear good, Swami used to make it so simple. In fact, this was the message of Lord Buddha, which Swami said it in so many simple words for mankind to follow. And that was the beauty of the Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba simplifying. Because he said that man tried to make everything simple and made God complicated. Baba came and said, everything in the world is complicated, God alone is simple. And that's what Lord Buddha and Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba showed by their actions in day-to-day life. Purity of mind, a great focus of Lord Buddha, that the mind should be clean, the mind should be pure. If you control the mind, everything is within your world, is what Swami and Lord Buddha together said all the time. And the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization, and I want to say this to my revered monks who are here, brothers and sisters, that the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization is a platform, in many ways inspired by the message of Bhagavan Sri Lord Buddha. Because the whole concept of Sangham, Dharmam, Satyam, which is the foundation of the entire Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, and Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Bhagavan created the platform of the entire Sri Sathya Sai organization for self-transformation. Buddha also showed that self-transformation is the path. Right action is the path, and good company is the path. And therefore the Sathya Sai Seva organization, the world over, is only this. It is created by Bhagavan as a platform for people to come and have good thoughts, to do good actions, and to come together in good company so that good thoughts can lead to good actions can lead to good habits, and good habits can lead to good character. It's the basis of the entire platform. And therefore, the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization, the Global Council, and all the organizations all over the world celebrating Buddha Poornima is natural, because that's the format given to us by Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba in conjunction, in sync with the message of Lord Buddha. Really speaking, the simplicity of Lord Buddha lies in the lovely stories. As I was introduced as being associated to Bal Vikas for last so many years, I must go back to very simple stories that Lord Buddha mentioned, and most of it are known to us. But you will find that these stories are related to the Sathya Sai organization. They are in sync with the message of Bhagavan and the day-to-day practices and the activities of the Sri Sathya Sai organization. Righteousness. The story of Devdutt, Lord Buddha's cousin. One day Lord Buddha was there in the palace, and a bird falls down injured right to Lord Buddha. He's pained at seeing the bird. He picks up the bird and sees that the bird is bandaged and taken care of. In the meantime, Devdutt comes in the farm there and says that, Siddhartha, this is my bird. Give it to me. I hunted it. I threw the arrow and killed it. And Buddha says, no, that's not yours. It's mine, because now I have tendered to it. And this whole dispute goes to Siddhartha's and Devdutt's, the uncle and father, the king. And they decide that ultimately, who is the owner of this bird? He says, the one who killed it or the one who tendered it? And he says, the one who takes care of life and one who takes care of situation is the owner of this bird. And therefore, brothers and sisters in the Sai organization, selfless service, doing good to others, is the right action, which is blessed by the divine grace of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba for all who practice all over the world. And this is the way beautiful it is. The story of Angulimal. The story of Angulimal and Lord Buddha is very famous, known to all of us, but a great lesson to learn. And he teaches. How does he teach? With love and affection. In the world of Sathya Sai Seva organization, we have no biases, we have no prejudices. We love everyone because the Lord told us that He is in everyone. And we bear, we forgive, we try to sacrifice to see that everybody is loved. And therefore the world of Sathya Sai, devotees and Sevadal members and Seva organizations, people are all repositories of unconditional love for the entire world. The Sri Satya Sai Seva organization, inspired by Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, akin to the message of Lord Buddha, unconditional love to all mankind. And that is the hallmark of the Sri Satya Sai Seva organization. And Zone 4 and Zone 5, as they go back, are going to once again rigorously get into the field of giving unconditional love to all mankind in all the countries that form this zone. Because that's our speciality, that's our USP with which Bhagwan has blessed us to deal with mankind. Angulimal also, how did he transform? We never judge anybody. We don't want to judge anybody. For us, all mankind is good. That's what Buddha taught us. When Angulimal came as a gigantic demon who wanted to kill people, who killed millions, lakhs and lakhs of people and cut their fingers and made a garland around the neck, how did Buddha deal with him? Confidence, poise, peace. And that man, as Buddha travels into the forest and Angulimal comes pouncing on him, he says, "Hey monk, stop, stop." He doesn't stop. As he goes forward, he says, "Who are you?" Doesn't speak. Absolute peace. And then he asks him a question, "Who are you?" "I am the greatest demon in this world. Aren't you scared of me?" He says, "No." "Why are you so great?" He says, "No, I can kill you." He says, the Buddha puts him to a test and says, "Go pluck 2 leaves from the garden." And he says, "Okay, good. Now go and plant it back. Can you do it?" And Angulimal understands that it's so easy to take somebody's life, but never easy to give life back. And that was the lesson Angulimal lived. Sensitivity. And for that matter, the very first journey of Lord Buddha, if you go to see brothers and sisters, when he sees plight of people, what happens to him? The first thing that happens is that he shuns and goes inwards. And that's what the Satsai Seva organization does. We do sadhana and we do seva. We do seva not because we want to be proud of what we have done, but when we see the pain and suffering of the people with whom we have the opportunity to serve, we go inwards and we transform. And therefore, that is our evaluation. Self-transformation is the evaluation as we go forward on the path of the Sri Satsai Seva organization. With these noble feelings, it's an amazing story. I think it's a great thing that we go from there. There was one of the third story and the last one that I really liked it as a young man and a young child was the story of one of the devotees of Lord Buddha as he gets very angry, to teach us that the whole dreaded danger of anger. Lord Buddha says this devotee got so angry with Lord and he started insulting Lord Buddha. And Lord Buddha was peaceful, absolutely quiet. When he bursts out and he really curses and goes back home, he calms down after some time. It never lasts. Anger never lasts. It calms down. Next day when he comes back to Lord Buddha. Buddha asks him, "Who are you?" So this devotee gets more, "I insulted Buddha just yesterday and now he doesn't even know me who I am." And Buddha says, "No, I don't know who you are because I don't live in the past. I live in the present and the present is more important for me." Forgetting the past is what even our Bhagwan reminded us. He gave us the beautiful maxim that on the path of spirituality and self-transformation, brothers and sisters, 2 things to forget is very, very important. That leaves you fresh in your mind. That keeps your mind flawless, clean, absolutely pure it keeps when you do 2 things. Forget all the harm that others have done to you immediately. And forget all the good that others have done to you immediately. Moment you form this habit of forgetting, it's an amazing experience of bliss and purity of the mind that we go see from this. I think these are the lovely stories of Lord Buddha that help us on our day-to-day life. And that is the format of our Sri Satsai Seva organization, brothers and sisters. That is the mandate given by Bhagwan Sri Satsai Baba to all our devotees all over the world. I think this is something that we need to understand and do the needful. I have the great pleasure of acknowledging the presence of the chief monk, the Venerable Lopon Phurpa Sherpa, and we, on behalf of the Sri Satsai Global Council, thank you very much for coming here. And today, through you, I pray to Bhagwan that as the years go by and the next year, when Buddha Poornima comes, even India will join the international organization, the overseas organization, in celebrating Buddha Poornima. Because India is the land of Buddhism. India is a place where every nook and corner of India, there are Buddhist practicing people who live so peacefully and happily. Whether it's Dalhousie in Himachal, whether it's Leh in Ladakh, whether it is Orissa, everywhere we have Buddhist devotees. And I think we pray to Bhagwan that next year when it comes, we have the privilege of inviting all the monks from all the monasteries, not only of India but all over the world. Let's dream big. Let's pray to Bhagavan at his divine lotus feet, because Buddhism is the message which Bhagavan endorsed again and again, and that is the simplicity of Bhagavan's message as we go further down the line. With these few words, I pray Bhagavan on behalf of everybody here and all over the world that Prasanthi Nilayam is the place where you come for insight. As the Venerable monk was talking of insight yesterday, this is the place. This is the place which has the blessings and the grace of the Divine Master himself. You don't have to do anything. Just come and sit silently in Sai Kulwant Hall and you have the complete insight, and transformation happens in the divine precincts of Sai Kulwant Hall of Prasanthi Nilayam. Welcome all the brothers and sisters of all over the world. Come to Prasanthi Nilayam, and this is the place where everything burns in the crucible and we all emerge pure and clean as Bhagavan always wanted us to be. Jai Sai Ram, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Sri Nimesh Pandya ji, for your inspirational talk. Indeed, Swami's message is the most simplified form of all religions, and all that we need to do is to put it into practice. We are truly blessed to be in the presence of the Divine Avatar. Next, we call upon Brother Sri Vasudev Khilani to introduce an audio-visual presentation prepared by the devotees of SSSGC Myanmar. The morning session will come to an end with global bhajans. Jai Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram. Just now, sorry, I made a typo error. Brother Nimish is the Vice Chairman of the Sri Sathya Sai Global Council. So, okay, my loving pranams again at the Divine Lotus feet of our dearest beloved Bhagwan. We are going to present a short 3-minute video prepared by the devotees of Myanmar, and this one actually is based on the start in since 2013, 9 years ago, when we were blessed by Swami to join together the devotees from Malaysia, Nepal, Thailand, and Singapore to join the Sai devotees in Myanmar to do seva annually at the Buddhist monasteries there, which provide the role of guardianship of children and education in values for them there. It is quite similar to a combined SSEHV school and orphanage. This video is really very heartening, so we hope you will watch it. It's only 3 minutes. Jai Sai Ram.
ကောင်းသောဘက်ကရဲမြလာပြီကဆိုပစ္စည်းမဘဝမစ္စည်းမအရာလုံမနီအင်းရင်ရလုံးတရားမြမငွေချီလွှမ်းချုံမာယာရီဝီဟိတိညမေတရေချီရတဲ့ဝမ်းကြရွှေငုံလက္ခဏာကြီးငယ်သွဲသွဲဆုံးရှုဝဲတင့်ဝဲတော်လာယုံမဟာတရေ68ကျုံအခါနှခဝိတာခါဆုံးဘဂဝါစိတ်နာဝိဇာတာကုံကောင်းသောဘက်ခရဲမြလာပြေကဆို
पाहि गजानन दीनावना पाहि गजानन दीनावना सिन्दूरवदना श्रितजनपालना पाहि
कृष्ण तुम हो, जय राम जय राम। राम कृष्ण तुम हो, जय राम जय राम। साई कृष्ण तुम हो, साई राम साई 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 राम। यीशु पिता तुम हो, हे राम हे 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 राम। अल्लाह ईश्वर हो, अल्लाह अकबर। अल्लाह ईश्वर हो, अल्लाह अकबर। अल्लाह ईश्वर हो, अल्लाह अकबर। अल्लाह ईश्वर हो, अल्लाह। शिरडी साई तुम हो, साई राम साई राम। शिरडी साई तुम हो, साई राम साई राम। राम कृष्ण तुम हो, जय राम जय राम। राम कृष्ण तुम हो, जय राम जय राम। साई कृष्ण तुम हो, साई राम साई राम। साई कृष्ण तुम हो, साई राम साई राम। यीशु पिता तुम हो, हे राम हे राम। यीशु पिता तुम हो, हे राम हे राम। अल्लाह ईश्वर हो, अल्लाह अकबर। अल्लाह ईश्वर हो, अल्लाह अकबर। शिरडी साई तुम हो, साई राम साई राम। 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 राम कृष्ण तुम हो, जय राम जय राम।
भोलानाथ हरे जगदीशा,
नाथ हरे जगदीशा।
भोलानाथ हरे जगदीशा। शैलेश्वर हर उमा महेशा शैलेश्वर हर उमा महेशा भोलानाथ हरे जगदीशा भव भयहारी हे त्रिपुरारी भव भयहारी हे
साई कृष्ण हरे सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे राम हरे साई कृष्ण हरे सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे अल्लाह ईश्वर साई हरे अल्लाह ईश्वर साई हरे अल्लाह ईश्वर साई हरे अल्लाह ईश्वर साई हरे गुरु नानक येशु बुद्ध हरे नानक येशु बुद्ध हरे गुरु नानक येशु बुद्ध हरे चौराष्ट्र महावीर साई हरे चौराष्ट्र महावीर साई हरे सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे बाबा सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे राम हरे साई कृष्ण हरे सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे अल्लाह ईश्वर साई हरे अल्लाह ईश्वर साई हरे गुरु नानक येशु
स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जन संरक्षक भक्त जन संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद बांधवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे मात पिता गुरुदैवम मर्यन्तयुनीवे स्वामी मर्यन्तयुनीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्र शयना ओम जय जगदीश हरे कालरूप ओजस्वी ओ साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगल आरती अंदुको मंगल आरती अंदुको मंदर गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। 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 ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। 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 ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि